All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in this week. This week, we're going to be back on the trailer build, the camping cargo overland trailer that we've got going here on the channel. This is episode number 4, I believe. Last week, we did some framework on the bed. We got the framework done on the kitchen. I've just picked up a brand new stainless steel sink that we're going to drop in back here. I know I told you guys last week I may end up using the cheap little bowl that I had, but I couldn't make myself do it. This kitchen is going to turn out too nice, so I spent more than I should. I bought a really nice sink that we're going to drop in back here. I did, as you can tell, I've got a big cutout sitting here in the floor beside me of the side of the trailer. I put the window in, and I did it without you guys. I know I said I wouldn't. I'd cut it out, but yesterday the window showed up. I came down here. It had a template, a little cardboard template, and I was just holding it up on the side of the trailer trying to figure out how I wanted to mount it. And then the next thing I know, I blacked out. I had already had the jigsaw in my hand, and I cut the hole and mounted the window off camera. But I'm going to show you how it turned out. It did really good. I did all the framework on the inside with metal. I've got a little bit of framework to do on the inside today around the bed. But before we get into all that, we're going to hop up on the roof because the Billie Bars racks are here. I mounted the side racks last week, and I sent them the measurements for the actual rails. They cut them, they tapped them, they sent them to me with the hardware. I've already dropped the front 2 in. I don't know if you can see on the camera. I left the back one out. I'm going to show you how they drop into place and lock in. Guys, if you're going to put a bed rack on your truck, go to billiebars.com. I'm telling you, once you have these racks in your hand and you see how nice they are with their brackets, it'll be the only roof rack or bed rack you end up wanting to get for your ride. So I'm going to drop that in, and the reason I want to start there is because we've already got the 270 awning from TopOak. I've already got the pop-out shower that we're going to mount on the other side. So once this rack's installed, we can go ahead and hang up that 270 in that shower and see how well it's going to look and how low it's going to hang on the side of the trailer. And then we'll get into opening up the sink. I'll show you what I went with and frame it out, get ready to drop it in. So let me show you the roof real quick. So first of all, check out how cool that window looks over here. It turned out great. And now you guys can see, those of you that's been following along, why it was so important for me to put that wall in. So the new wall on the inside is like right here. And I wanted to be sure that I didn't accidentally cut the hole where a wall was going to be. So we put the wall in first, and I was able to put the window in. That window's got a screen. It's a little bit different than this window. So this one doesn't have a screen. It does have that blind that pulls down. And I'll have to plug up some power in here in a minute, and I'll show you the inside, but you can kind of see. So when we're sitting in here on the bed next to the ladder that's going to go to a hatch in the tent, which I can't wait to get to that part of this build, but we'll be able to sit here, park by the lake, and just look out the window. I think it's going to be really nice. There isn't a blind, so we'll probably end up doing some sort of curtain thing in here, or maybe put some blinds over it later, but it does have the screen. It's got a little latch where you flip this up. I hadn't even opened it yet. There it goes. It just slides right open. And I know it's dark in here. I'll have to show you in a minute, but I did weld up a whole new frame. So when I cut that circle out, I had to come back and put these metal bars in to case this window in. And it did really nice. I went back and ground the welds down. But once all the welding and fab is done on these walls, I'm going to pull everything back out down. I'm going to paint all of these rails where I've got grind marks, any bare metal showing. I'm going to put a good coat of paint on, and then we'll insulate the walls and cover everything up. That'll just help from any rust in the future. Later on today, I'm going to be working on framing in the rest of this bed. And I've been going back and forth on this bed in my mind for the past couple of days because I don't want to miss the opportunity to be able to fold this out into a double. But at the same time, the main sleeping is going to be on the roof of this in the rooftop tent. So I think I'm going to be fine with just having this a single cot size bed, not to make it a double, because if I have to make it a double, I have to modify everything else around it. If I need a bed to slide out, I got to make sure that I put the new floor in first, because if I build it right now where it'll slide, the new floor would be in the way when we put it in. And anyway, I think what I'm going to do is box it in like I planned, put the bed on a hinge with struts so that we can open it, and then the water tank, the power, the heater, everything is going to be in there. This wall is going to continue to be the entertainment center with the TV and the radio and all that stuff. And I do have a new plan. Let me hop back in here. I know it's dark, but see this area here, this little, so this is going to be a wall, and this is going to be a wall, and this is going to be like kind of like a table. That's where I'm going to set the phone, you know, stuff in my pocket, stuff like that. I'll go there before I hop in the bed. But this was just going to be kind of a blank wall. One of you guys, one of my subscribers, emailed me pictures of your build, and he's out of Canada, and he did fantastic on his build. But one of the things he had in his build was an electric fireplace, and I was like, holy cow, I want to do that. I told him I was probably going to steal that idea, and I'm on Amazon now trying to find the best one to fit. I did find a few that'll fit in there, but I think we're going to put a fireplace here, an electric fireplace, with the bench top right here, with the TV on this wall. Haven't figured out exactly what I'm doing over here yet. Maybe the air conditioner unit, but we'll see. But I want it to all just flow and blend really well over there. Now let's get on the roof where I told you we were going to start on today's video. So check that out. These are Billie Bar's truck bed racks. And this bracket is the 6-inch retracts bracket that they have on their website. If you didn't watch last week's video, you definitely want to go check it out if you're interested in a rack like this. So I screwed these brackets directly into the angle iron that runs all the way around the trailer, and I got them all mounted and sealed. And then I took my measurements and they sent them out, and as you can see, they look great. I mean, these things fit so good. And I'll show you another thing I hit on last week. See how perfectly straight up and down they are now? And you can see this one isn't. See how this one's leaned in? And now these are perfectly straight. And that is only because these are mounted in the angle iron, like I said. And all angle iron is never exactly a 45, or not a 45, a 90. It's always going to have a little bit of a kick down, and that's what's causing that lean. So I made sure that I measured to make sure they were the right length. So in a minute, we're going to climb up here. We'll pop in that last one, and I'll show you how they bolt in. They use some really good stainless steel safety hardware, so that's kind of theft proof too, so it's really cool. So let's do that first. Let's drop this in, because then we can move on to the 270 awning and stuff like that. I feel like I'm running out of room in here. I've got stuff strode all over the place. But I did, before we dropped it in, I kind of wanted to show you, if you order a Billie Bar's bed rack for your truck or your trailer or whatever you're putting it on, this is how they're going to show up. They're going to show up, each rail is going to be packaged really well. And as soon as you take it out of the box, you're going to see why these tower over all other bed racks. And guys, I have used all other bed racks on my channel. I started off with the cheap Amazon bed racks, and I got my Tractor Supply bed racks, and they're just, nothing really matches up to how they make theirs. They make them simple, and they make them out of good quality material. Look how thick these are. That is really nice. And they tap these holes. So these holes are tapped when you get them. And this is one of the racks, or one of the rails that goes across your bed or your trailer, wherever you're putting them. And when you get the kit, you'll get your side racks and you'll get your rails. In that kit, you'll get a little package that looks like this right here. And the main reason I wanted to show you this is because I really like how you get everything for this rack. They don't just send you some stuff and say, good luck on learning how to install this. You get everything you need, including some anti-seize. So you'll get a little pack of anti-seize. You'll get the specialty tool for their specialty bolts. And the reason I say specialty is the ones they use, it's a star bit bolt. And let me see if I can show it to you. See that star? Well, if you look in the dead center of that star, there is a circle. And that circle sticks out. So you can't use a traditional regular star bit that somebody might have in the toolbox of their truck. You have to have the star bit with the circle cut out in the middle. I'm going to try to show you this. I doubt it'll show up on camera. But there's a hole in the middle of their tool. And that is because this is the tool you need to tighten it up. And the reason that you get the anti-seize is because all of the hardware that they send you is stainless steel. And stainless steel and aluminum, you always want to make sure that you do something to keep it from corroding and locking together. So since this is an aluminum extruded rack, it'll never rust. It's powder coated. It's never gonna, I mean, these things are gonna last forever, and they send you really good hardware to screw straight into that aluminum on the side. You get the lock washers, you get the washers you need, and they just drop right in once you get your racks put up. So let's drop this one in real quick, and then we'll move on to the rest of the stuff. So I'm gonna set this rail in the pocket on the other side, and all you do is you just drop it into this rack on the side of your bed. And then as you can see, that is why I measured after I straightened these up. See how this is not dropping right in? Because when I bolted these up on those angle iron, they both do this just a little bit. So I accounted for that when I measured the rack that I need. So I'll pull this straight just a little bit, and then drops right in. Now it's perfectly vertical, where all I got to do now is take the stainless steel hardware that's provided, put me some anti-seize on the tip of it so we don't get that corrosion from the stainless steel and the aluminum together. And then you put 2 bolts on this side and 2 bolts on that side. Yep. All I got to do is give it some good ugga-duggas like that. Just make sure that you're flattening the lock washer that it comes with. All of this is stainless steel, so it's gonna not corrode, it's not gonna rust. And now this rack is locked on, and this is part of the frame of the trailer now, because we're tied in on the roof cap all the way around. Now most bed racks, you're gonna notice that I am running 3. Most bed racks will just be 2. I wanted to run 3 because we have that big old tent over there. That is the TopOak Nebula. That is the biggest tent that I have ever ran on anything. I did a review on that tent here a few weeks back on my channel. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. That tent is huge, but I wanted, since that tent is gonna live up here, I wanted that extra support. And also I plan to cut a hole in the roof of this trailer and the floor of the tent, and we're gonna have access. And I didn't want this tent to have that long of a span without a brace in the middle and then cut a hole in the floor. I think it would make it weak. So now we've got a spot that's gonna brace it in the center, and we'll be going up and down. And speaking of the tent, there's something really cool, let me find it, that Billie Bars also offers if you plan to run a rooftop tent on their rack. And it's one of these guys right here. You can actually buy these in a pack. I think you can get a pack of 4 for a rooftop tent. And what they are is they're rooftop tent mounting brackets. And if you've ever mounted a rooftop tent and you see the hardware that comes with it, you can already tell this is way beefier. It's bent exactly to fit. Let's climb back up here and I'll show you. And I'm gonna be running 6 of these, 2 on each rack, but it's cut specifically for their rack. Now I'm gonna put it on the top, but it goes on from the bottom. But I just want you to see how well it fits and how they actually mount. And what you do is this goes across the bottom of the rack like this, and then your tent hardware bolts straight through it to the tent, locking it on. And normally you would just run 4 of these, you know, 2 on each end of the tent. But since I'm gonna be running that extra rail, I'm gonna run 6 of these. So we're gonna have this tent locked on, and it'll be also part of this trailer once we get it all locked into place. And then I'll have all the confidence in the world that we have plenty of stability to cut the hole and, you know, go up and down through the inside of it. So we're ready now. We're ready to mount things. You can see how square these racks look on the side. And now we have a great platform for our 270 awning or anything else. And you can see these are the 6-inch brackets. So there's plenty of mounting holes right here on the side to mount things like a 270 awning or shower. And you can also get stuff from BillieBars.com, like the Molly panel that they provide for these, or you can buy to add on to these. We actually installed some of those Molly panels on my dad's truck, that white F-150, here on the channel a few weeks ago. Now here's what we're gonna be running. This is the TopOak 270 awning. That'll be going down the passenger side, so this side over here with the door, of course. And on the back side, we're gonna be running the open road pop-out shower. Now I know a lot of you guys have seen my other pop-out shower laying here in the background. That's this guy here. I do have a TopOak pop-out shower with the new swing out bracket. And the reason you're seeing these back here is because they're not going on this project. These are going on the Tacoma. These are going to mount directly to my Galaxy Pro rooftop tent. And I'm going to do that in the upcoming video where we add that to the Tacoma. And we're going to run the TopOak there and then the open road here. The open road, we're going to mount it right down here on this side. We'll do that in today's video as well and see how well that looks. Now, let's check the sink out. I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to open it with you guys. But it's a stainless steel sink, but I went with a black stainless steel because we've already got the stainless steel top, and I didn't want it to all blend together. Plus, I think the black looked really cool. This thing is supposed to have a pop-up faucet on it. It's supposed to have a cutting board that fits in it, so when we're traveling, we can fold the faucet down and put the cutting board on there. This thing wasn't cheap. I think I paid just under 200 bucks for this sink. For a camper, it was, I mean, for a house, yeah, that's probably a pretty cheap sink, but for this trailer that I'm putting together in my basement, it was hard for me to pull that trigger, but I can already see that the quality is worth it because right out of the gate, I get a template, which we didn't get if you didn't see the video a couple of videos back or last week maybe. I installed the window and the door, and it didn't come with any kind of template. I just kind of had to make my own template and guess. But it looks like we got a template to show us exactly how to install this thing. And it's going to go right over here. Now, this sink is not advertised as a drop-in sink. The sink is advertised as a sink that you bolt up from the bottom of your counter. However, I looked at it really close, and I hope I'm not wrong, but it looks like it has a really good lip, and it's nice and square, that we're going to be able to make it a drop-in. And I'm going to frame everything out under the sink with this 1x1 square tubing. It's all going to be done in metal, which is great. We're not going to have any wood to deal with. And I'm really hoping this sink works out. They packaged it very, very well. Let me see if we can get it out of the box. There we go. Oh, it's lightweight. It's not heavy at all. And it looks like there's hardware over here. Let's get that out. All right, I'm all right with the way they packaged it. This isn't a sponsored unboxing or anything like that. It's just a sink that I found on Amazon. I will link it below in the video description. If one of you guys are building this and you see this sink and you're like, dang, I like it, I'll let you guys know which one it is with a link below. Yeah, there's that drop-in cutting board, which looks really cool. Oh, and it's thick too. A nice thick cutting board. Heck yeah. Let's open it up. Oh, it come with a hose. I didn't know it was going to come with the drain hose. Well, that's awesome. Look at that. Nice little drop-in cutting board for the sink. Should drop right in there. I'm eager to see, or anxious to see. Let me get all this crap out of the way. What this black looks like on the stainless. It's even in a little bag here. Heck yeah, check that out. That's a good looking sink. I'm all excited about a sink. And they've got this noise protection padding. I don't know if you can see it. I read it in the description when I ordered it. So they got a padding that's kind of sealed to it, and it's got a rubber coating, and that's so if you drop something in the sink, it's not loud. It doesn't echo. It's like a sound deadening mat. All right, so we got the sink that's going to drop in right there. I think that is the perfect size for this. Let's see, there's another couple boxes over here. And you know, I just thought about something that I need to be careful about. That template, since this is not advertised as a drop-in sink, I'm glad I thought about this, because this, I bet the template is designed to fit the entire top. Let's see. Okay, no, it's not. All right, maybe not. Maybe the template will be exactly what we need to go right around the bottom. But it's got a nice lip, so I think that's going to be really nice. And then we can just brace it from the bottom up. I want to see what the faucet looks like really quick. Yeah, I like that a lot. What is this side one over here? So there's a side one, hot and cold. Oh, that's the control knob. So it's got a little control knob that goes, it'll go here on the side, right here. And everything sits below the sink level. And then we got the actual faucet. I'm gonna have to put all this back in the packaging because it's gonna be a little while before we get it installed. So the faucet goes in the center right here of the sink, but as you can see, it'll fold down flat. And check that out. That is cool. That is gonna look really, really good in here. I can't wait to get this kitchen finished, and we're actually using it in the woods. My wife's excited to be able to take this thing out, but I don't want to rush it. I have been known to rush and get things done just to use it before, and then I'm not completely happy with it. I want to take my time with this build and make it something extremely unique and something that we're going to want to take out all the time. But for now, we don't need anything but a template, because I've got to take the stainless steel top back out, get the fridge out, because the template is not just for the stainless steel top hole. I'm going to weld in one by one and actually square it off in there to give me something solid for this lip to sit on. I don't want it just sitting in a big open hole over here of the stainless steel top. So let me get all this out of the way, and it's got all the connections and stuff. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. But with you guys, I'll do all the welding and stuff later on. With you guys, I think what we're going to move on to next is getting that 270 awning mounted, if I can do it by myself. I got a little weight to them, and I usually get my wife to help me, but she's at work right now. So let's see if we can get it mounted, and then I'll move on to the stuff back here in the back. So if you've never mounted a 270 awning before, just fair warning, get somebody to help you do it. They're not extremely light. They got a little bit of weight to them, but they're very nice. This is gonna wrap the entire trailer. They offer so much shade and so much coverage that they're well worth the little bit of extra weight. This one is the 270 awning, like I've said a million times, from TopOak Overland. And what I want to do really quick is show you how they mount, how we're gonna mount it, and then I'm just gonna get up here, suffer through it, and get this thing mounted. Let me flip it really quick. Hopefully you can see it, because I am not picking this thing up to show you. But see the back side here? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 T-slots or T-tracks back here with the recessed openings where you can put the head of the bolt in and slide it. These are used with the bolts, not the nuts. So some T-track stuff you get, you'll drop the nut in and then you'll bolt the screw or the bolt to it. These, you actually drop the head of the bolt in, slide it into place, and then you slide it to wherever the holes are going to be on the brackets, and then you lift it, slide it in, and put the washer and the nut on the back. So we've got plenty of mounting options to be able to go higher or lower with all these slots. Now let me flip it back over, slide it into place. And really quick, I just want to show you what this comes with. I'll have this link below, and I've also got a discount code for all of my TopOak stuff. Just about everything you see in these videos, I have links and discount codes for down below, so check them out. This actually comes with a whole pack of guidelines with the tensioner on them. These are really nice guidelines. If it's windy, they got hookups for these where you can just hook them up and tighten them up to keep the wind down, especially if you're going to be camping for more than just an overnighter. They come in handy. It comes with a tool for putting the stakes in the ground, which is really neat. It's got a little hammer. I got a couple of these now because I also run this awning on my truck. And it's just this little cool hammer for pulling the stakes out of the ground and putting them in the ground when you're there, setting up. And then, of course, your mounting brackets and hardware. Now, we're probably not going to use the mounting brackets that came with this because Billie bars, these racks, offer a good mounting spot, and I planned ahead. I made sure that these were flush with the side of the camper so that we should be able to put that awning right here and mount directly to these racks. But I'm still going to show you what comes with it. So you get a box like this with it. It's got all the brackets and all the hardware. Got all your stainless steel hardware for mounting everything up. And it comes with these really nice brackets. Now, these used to come with really big, heavy, bulky brackets, and they've really dialed it down to a nice powder-coated black bracket. This bracket you would just mount on your vehicle or the bed of your truck, trailer, wherever you're putting this, and this is how you would mount up the awning. It's a two-piece bracket, actually. So this bracket would go on your trailer, kind of like this. Then you can adjust this. It's got an adjustable bracket here. Let me just show you over here. And you put this bracket in here, and you can adjust it with all those holes on the side, the height and the lower. So if we put this here and we wanted that awning to come way down, we'd go lower with it. Or if we wanted it to go way higher, we could actually go higher with it. But we're probably not going to have to use these because we're going to utilize the Billie Bar's bed rack. Let me see if I can get this thing hung up by myself. If not, I've got like 2 hours before my wife gets home, and she hates when I ask her to help me lift stuff. Not because she don't want to do it, it's just I'm always asking for help because she's the only one here with me, and it's usually to lift and hold something in place while I put a nut or a bolt in. So let me see if I can do it without her real quick, and we'll see how this thing mounts up on these Billie Bar's racks. All right, good morning, guys. It's actually the next day. But I did get the awning mounted last night, and I got the shower mounted, and it looks great up there on top of this. And I got to say, this red is starting to grow on me. I still plan on wrapping it because I really got a cool idea and a neat design for this thing. I've got a new name for it that I wanted to share with you guys at the end of this video that I come up with. I usually let you guys name these projects when we build them here on the channel, but I've got a good one I think I'm just going to go with. It's going to fit the build really well. But first, let's look at this 270 awning. I'm going to show you how I got it mounted, why I mounted it the way I mounted it. That way, if you're looking to get an awning like this, you know what to look for if you're going to be mounting one on your truck or your van or your car or whatever. So first off, look how nice this thing looks on the side of here. I mean, it looks great. The height is perfect. That mount, I'm really glad that I kind of thought this out and I went with these mounts because these mounts were able to offset it just far enough. I mean, I've got maybe a ½ an inch off of the trailer, so it's a nice snug fit. And I don't know if you can tell, but I was able to get the bottom of this awning mount exactly even with the trim rail or the trim cap around the top of the trailer. So it looks really, really good. Now, I know a lot of you guys who aren't familiar with these 270 awnings. Let me step back and get a full shot. So you're going to immediately say, hey, why didn't you center the awning up? Why is the awning all the way at the back? It's not even over half of your door. You got to remember, these are 270 awnings. These are 270-degree awnings. So you have to mount these in a way that this backside, and we're going to open it up. I'm really hoping that this pole I've got in the middle of my basement ain't in the way, but I'm going to try to open this up in just a minute to show you. But when you mount a 270 awning, you got to do it in a way that this is going to be your square point. This is going to be your 90-degree angle. So this is going to bat wing out. It's going to swing all the way around. So where you want this corner to end up, it's got to be perfectly square with the end of this. So if we would have mounted that awning center, we would never have been able to get a perfect square wraparound back here. It would have kicked off way out here, and it wouldn't have looked good. It wouldn't have done what it's supposed to do. So you have to mount these 270s. If you've got a passenger side, they sell two sides. They sell a passenger and a driver. So if you get a passenger like this, it's going to swing this way. If you get the driver side, obviously, it's going to end here, and it's going to swing this way above your tailgate or the back of your trailer. Now up here, I know some of you are like, well, it stops right here. The door is clearly going to get rain in it. Well, it's not, it doesn't just fold that way. It's a full 270. So when it folds that way, there's another piece that folds out, and it's going to come straight this way, and it's actually going to come way out here. And then we're going to tie it up with the guidelines on the side to cinch everything tight. And speaking of that, I forgot to show you guys. A while ago, I showed you everything. I forgot to show you this. This is the main bag that comes with your 270 awning. It does come with what I showed you. I just forgot to grab this. This has got all other stuff in it. This is your wire, because these 270 awnings, you're going to see in a minute, have lights built into them. And this is your wire. You plug it up, plug it into a USB port, and you got lights. These we will need in just a minute if we get this thing to swing open. These are the coolest cinch wires, or cinch ropes. Sorry, I had to use two hands. But they're really nice, and they've got these heavy-duty metal buckles, and this will clip onto the awning or to wherever you're hooking it up top, and then you literally just pull one in and it cinches down and stays tight. So we'll be able to tighten it up. It comes with two of those. It comes with the lights. It comes with more brackets, a full bracket kit. These are a bunch of plastic replacement pieces for the legs, and I'll show you the legs. You can use this awning with or without the kick down legs, depending on how windy it is, or if you want to angle the awning. But I usually run it, I don't even fold my legs down. And then back here in the very back, you get a bunch of stakes to tie down your guidelines. Let me see if I can open this with one hand. And you also get wrenches. You get a ratcheting 13 mil wrench. I've got so many of these in my toolbox from all these tent reviews. You get a regular 13, and then you get a bunch of powder coated stakes for staking everything down. And these are actually really nice stakes, and that's why you also get that hammer that I showed you, that you can pound these stakes into the ground and then pull them back out, and these things will last a really long time. Powder coated black, heavy duty metal. So yeah, you get all of that. And then I've also, I guess before I pop the awning out, I'll probably have to push this thing back around, because you see I had to squeeze this way over here, but I've got our shower mounted up on this end, which is going to be really hard for me to show you. Let me see if I can show you from the other side. And the reason I pushed the trailer so far back is because I'm really hoping that we can swing this awning out and clear this pole. But you can kind of see it over here. Let me turn this toolbox light on. Oh, that didn't help at all. But there it is. Got it mounted up the same way. They got the same slots, and you can just mount it where you want it. And a good tip for mounting the awnings and stuff like that is those slots that you use all the way down the back, mount it loosely first. Don't tighten everything down, just get your bolts in. And then while it's loose, you can slide the whole awning back and forth until you achieve that perfect square opening back here above the tailgate. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to squeeze in this frame of me opening this thing. If it was outside, I'd be able to set you guys up higher and further out, and we could open it up. But in here, it's tight space. But it won't be long we'll be able to take this thing outside once we get the tent ready to go on. So it opens up like this. Kind of fold your bag up. You got 3 Velcro straps. Just like this. Where's this end? So this end, it's got a little pull string or a pull cable. You go that way with it, and then when you get it to here, you pull out this end. This end is gonna go, please clear the pole. Oh my God, look how close this is to the pole. I don't know if you guys can see. Look. Oh, I'm hitting it. Look, that's how we barely made it by. Hopefully the other one doesn't hit. Let me turn you guys back. Don't hit, don't hit, don't hit. Golly, that was close. So you take these little cinch ropes or whatever it is that I just showed you over there, and you pull this in and it locks it so it doesn't go that way. What I do is they've got a corner loop right here. I hook that in on the corner loop, and then I take my end with the hook. Let me get this knot out. And then you're gonna hook this somewhere. You wanna hook it kind of level with the awning. So it's ideally you wanna hook the other end of this to the rack. So I'm gonna hook it back. Let's just hook it right here for now. Just gonna hook it right there to the rack. And now I can pull this and get a nice tight square fit up back here. Oh, that's gonna be great. It's even got the little rain flap back here. We'll go up and over that way. So it'll be the same thing on this end. This end, here's the corner. You're gonna hook your We'll buckle to it. And I'm gonna walk around. Hopefully I got room over here. Oh my God, it's gonna be tight. It's all the way into my tackle wall. Let's see, let me give me some slack. I'm gonna hook this to the bracket over here for now. And since this is gonna be a more permanent build when we're done, let me cinch it tight. Now, once you get it hooked up, you cinch it tight, it locks this thing up. And that's why I say you really don't need the legs. But what I'll probably do once this thing is completely built, instead of looking for a place to put these hooks when I'm setting it up, I'll find exactly where I hook it up every time. And I'll probably put me some eye bolts in on the rack or on the tent somewhere. And I'll just be able to quickly know, hey, we hook up here, cinch it tight. The setup is super quick and easy. But as you can see, I've got, let me get these straps up right here. I've got entryway to the door. We've got cover actually that goes over, and they sell annex rooms for these too that actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see on the screen right here, there's a Velcro strip all the way around these awnings, and you can actually get, I might have one. I don't know if it's for this tent. Well, I can't set it up in here, obviously, but once we get outside, I could literally hook a huge annex room to the outside of this setup and have kind of a tent built onto the outside of the camper, which is really neat. All right, I got you guys back here in the back so you can see a little bit better. So the way these legs work is there's a Velcro strip. You pull it, and the leg drops down. It's got a little safety plastic lock right here. You open it just like a tripod on a camera. Just like a clip on a tripod for a camera mount. And then you got the spikes on the end that you can stick in the ground. You tension these up, and they design these new poles. They're not round. They're actually kind of shaped like an octagon. So they're rigid. They're really stiff. They're way more sturdy than just a round pole. And then they fold right up, and up under each of these bars, and I'll plug something up to show you, is, let me put this leg back up, because if not, if I put these legs down, they're just going to be in the way in here. But that's really a cool feature of this awning, is you don't have to use the legs. I mean, if it gets super windy and you're by the beach or something and the wind's just not going to stop, yeah, you can put the legs down and put your guidelines. It comes with all that. But I have had, this is probably my 5th 270 awning, and I never put the legs down on any of them. I've never had to, and we've camped for 3 or 4 days. It just stays out the whole time. These are really great awnings. But as you can see, we can now open this up for our kitchen, and we'll be able to use the kitchen, get stuff out of the pantry, use the sink, cook our food, get stuff out of the fridge, and we're completely covered right here. And let me grab, we're going to turn these lights on really quick, and I'll show you how these work. So the lights, each of these poles has a little outlet port, or whatever you want to call it. It plugs up to this guy right here, this style right here. And each of these legs, each of these arms that stick out has a built-in LED light, and they've got those, I think they're called diffusers in front of them, so you don't see the LED bulbs. It's a nice, clean light, which I really do like. I hate when they just stick a LED strip on something and you can see the individual bulbs. But the way it works is and it's one cord. You don't have a whole bunch of cords. Like this one right here is going to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. One of them goes way over there. It's this one. So you got three short ones right here, and then you got one long one, and that's because you've got that one extra pole that's way down there. Let me get it plugged up. And what's neat is I'm going to be able to incorporate power outlets on the side of the trailer, so we don't have to run this inside when we're done. When I get this thing built, we're going to be able to pop it up, set it up, plug it up, and you're not going to see a bunch of wires run all over the place plugging things up. Everything's going to be nice and neat and compact. But for now, this will actually run, and you can run it through here. They've got it designed so you can just run it through there like that. For now, I'm just going to get the cable up out of the way so we can plug it up and show you how these things work. And now it's just one USB port. So you got 1, 2, 3, you got 4 lights, but you only have to plug in one USB port to power them. Let me get this unhooked. me grab me a power box. For now, I'm just going to use my little Dakota lithium power bank. And then it's just a regular USB plug. Plug it in. Boom. We got lights up under here. Try to give you guys an overview shot of the top. Look how that thing just covers the whole side of this trailer. Completely wrapping it. It's so hard to film something this big in this area that I got. But you can see now how far it shoots over here. I mean, it's all the way into my tackle wall over here. And it gives us that perfect overhang above the door. We got all this room here. I do plan on putting some sort of a fold-down table off the wall here, probably. So we have an outdoor area up under here. And you can see the lights. And when the legs are up, that's only one thing I don't like. If you leave the legs up, they you can still get the light around them, but you can see the legs fold right over where the light is. So if you kind of look straight on, now you can't see the light because that leg's there. And then if you move the leg over, I pulled this leg down and set it in the floor so you can see how much light that offers there. And then don't forget, this whole kitchen is going to be set up with, pantries or whatever, but there's going to be recessed lighting in here. So we're going to have plenty of light, under cabinet lighting right here. And then we're also going to have this exterior lighting out here. Man, that covers so much. This thing looks, just adding this 270 awning really changes the whole outcome of how this trailer's going right now. Now, as for the sink in the kitchen area back here, the stuff that I'm waiting on still didn't arrive, so I'm not going to be able to cut the hole in this video and drop the sink in. I did show my wife the sink. She didn't know what I ordered, and I showed it to her last night. She really likes it. It's going to look really good back here. And the reason I can't do the cutting yet is because I ordered some aluminum track off of Amazon, because I had an idea back here at the back. Last week I told you guys I plan on putting a sliding door back here to be able to access the bottom of the sink. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to put a door over here in front of the fridge because it's such a big door. It would have to be a huge door because the fridge is so wide. Well, I had an idea. I was on Amazon looking at different door solutions that I could go with to be able to cover up the bottom of that sink. And I found this aluminum kind of like track. It's just an aluminum. If you picture the end of it, if you're looking at this track from the end, it's an aluminum U, but it's divided right in the middle, and each slot is a 1/4 inch wide, so 1/4 inch open. And I've got 2 strips coming, and my plan is remember I built this countertop, or I cut this stainless steel countertop wider so that I have a gap in the front to be able to put a sliding door in. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that extrusion that I've got coming, that aluminum track, and I'm going to put a strip across the floor, and I'm going to put a strip across the top behind the lip of this stainless steel cap. So I can't put it in place yet and cut the hole for the sink because I don't know how wide I'm going to need that gap to be for the new track, if that makes sense. But what that's going to offer me is having those 2 slots is now I'm going to be able to put a door in front of the fridge and a sliding door in front of the sink back here in the back, because I'm going to have 2 different levels. I'm going to have 2 doors in this front slot, and then I can have a false wall door in the back slot. So when you slide them, I can slide all 3 together. Instead of one big door here, I'll be able to slide 3 doors over to get to the fridge, or 1 door over to get up under the sink. I hope I'm explaining that well enough, but that's the only reason I can't just go cutting a big hole this week and dropping the sink in. Trust me, I really I wanted to get that sink installed in this video because I can't wait to see how it looks back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this awning up. I think I can just leave the awning on for now. There's no reason for me to have to take it off because it's not really going to be in the way of anything. I'm going to leave the awning on. I'm going to close it up. I've got some metal framework left to do up under the bed. I've got to figure out which fireplace I'm going with, and I've got to make sure that I frame it to fit the new fireplace that we're going to install. I can't wait to do that. That's such a good idea. I really appreciate you guys reaching out. I've gotten so many emails since I've started this build series from guys who've built something similar to this in the past, and they're sharing their pictures and their ideas, and And when you do that, man, you can really, when a group comes together with all these ideas of making something neat or unique, you can really come up with some really cool stuff. So I really appreciate all the emails and messages that I've been getting. And that fireplace is definitely going to happen. So I got to pick out the right one first so that I can go ahead and weld in the framework, you know, to be able to cut the hole in the wall and put it in. So I'm going to take care of all that. And then next week's video, hopefully we'll be able to drop the sink in, get some doors made, and we're going to start planning for walls, a ceiling, and recessed lighting in there. So y'all stay tuned. I really appreciate all the support on this new build series. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. I upload every Monday at 6 o'clock, and I will catch you guys next Monday at 6 o'clock. Peace.